responsible for his or her own system and for the system of his or her submissive. You're responsible for both people. You're at 200% responsibility. And the submissive is at 100% responsibility. And you would say, well, if the Dom is at 200% responsibility, why does the submissive need to be responsible at all?
Because they do.
Because they do. First of all, if you're not at 100% responsibility, you're actually not in consent. Think about that for a while, it'll ring some bells in your head. If you're in consent, you are taking 100% responsibility for your ride. You're saying, I want to do this, I've agreed to do this, and I take full responsibility for speaking up and calling my safe word if things are going in a way that I don't want to play. If the submissive is not at that 100% responsibility, you will get drama and breakdown, and you will have a submissive calling you the next day or the next week saying, that thing we did, I didn't want to do that. I said, why didn't you speak up? I don't know. I was confused. I was frozen. And people do freeze. Know what I mean? Look, usually we actually do this. You actually are brilliant at asking people who freezes. You adjusted accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, is there anyone in here who knows that they freeze already? You know that you dissociate or you freeze.
Right.
Okay, so
keep your hands up.
Keep your hands up.
So this is actually a great information to get if you are a Dom playing with these people, because that means you need to be on extra bright on your 200% responsibility. And it's fine. People have trauma, people tend to freeze, people have whatever in their system and they feel they get stuck. Ideally, once you keep playing powerfully and with clear communication, your hands will not go up eventually. You'll be like, no, I don't freeze, I am able to speak up in real time. That is the ideal way to play. Because if you're not able to speak up in real time, that's where things fall off the ledge.
The people who freeze, you should actually inform your potential partners, by the way, we could be doing something and we're intimate and I could freeze. If you let somebody know that you can freeze, they're not taken off guard or freaked out when it happens. You just need to let them know, I freeze. And I'm okay, and it's not really about you, it's something gets triggered, and that's the way you can work it out. Literally, just to inform people. And you should ask if you have a new partner, you should say to the partner, by the way, do you ever freeze? I need to know. So you have to be really, it's like we have to be vigilant because people do all kinds of things and it didn't happen because of you. It happens because of a way earlier trauma that happened that they know or don't know about. But if they would inform us, this could happen. I'm going to give a different example. I was with a lover a few years ago, and it took us a very long time to become intimate, that we wanted to be in bed together. And when we finally were, after about 10 minutes of just kind of sweet interaction, the guy's voice completely changed. It was like, I said to him, excuse me, who's here? And he was like, what? What? And I said, you that I'm with are no longer here, stop. And he was like, no, I'm here. But he wasn't. Like a new character was in there. So I check. Yeah.
Right. So this kind of is an additional responsibility for the Dom. So be aware of it. And this is especially going to be going on in scenes where somebody's face is in the other direction and you're behind them and they're tied up and they're not communicating. So you should be aware of it because it's a danger zone. If your partner has frozen and they are in a no at some level but they're not speaking up, it's going to create a mess later on. What I mean? So be aware of it. That's why be extra vigilant, have your fun, but really be vigilant because you will raise intensity, and the place where people check out isn't high intensity. They're not checked out now, we're just sitting and talking. When they're at their edge, the dissociation happens because it's too much for the container. And within a DS scene, the number that we practice, calling out numbers, is a really great way to keep that channel open. If your submissive was calling numbers and he or she has stopped, probably something happened, and check in with them.
My partner and I, my primary partner and I, have taken the numbers into everything we do. So when I first came home from the last time I taught with Om, he said to me, like, what? What do you mean numbers? Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So we were sitting outside by a fireplace, and I was wearing a coat, and I said, come closer to me and pinch my nipple. So he pinched my nipple, and I said, 2, 3, 4, and he was just, his eyes were going like this. 5, 6, and then I went, 9, 9, 9. So then that like gave him an idea. So then so everything we do now has numbers connected to it. And we've taken what we call 10 lovemaking and brought it to 10. And then brought it to 10. So we just keep taking it up. And it's, especially when someone is more of the doer and someone is more of the receiver, doers never know how they're doing. They just don't have any measurement. They have no idea. Usually, if they get feedback at all, it's at the end. You know, when you touched me that way, that was a little painful or whatever. This is like constantly in communication, numbers. So it doesn't take me out, and he'll do numbers too now. So it doesn't take either one of us out of our head. He's not saying to me, how's this feel? How's this feel? How's this feel? Then I have to go, let's see, this feels like this. And I can just be going 4, 5, 6. And it's not taking me out of the sensation to go into my head to describe it and discuss it. So I'm suggesting to you that you take the numbers and you use them everywhere, not just in spanking. That's where we start the practice of it. You could see how practical it is. Take it to other things.
Just want to say one more thing and then we need to move on.
Yeah.
A lot of you, yesterday when you were speaking your desires, you have a lot of desires in edge play. All this shit is going to show up in spades when you push people's edges, because that's where you're going. When somebody says, I really want to go into consensual non-consent scene, I really want to go into my yellow today, I really want to experience public humiliation. You're pushing people's psyche, and that's an art form, and it can be hot, it can be erotic, and you're pushing them to the edge of their limits. And that's where all this will show up. So if you have a desire to do edge play, you need to be extra strong in your container and your communication. Otherwise, your scenes are going to fall apart and you're going to create a lot of drama in the end. It won't be happy endings. Yeah? The further you want to go, the higher intensity you want to experience, the stronger your container needs to be. Hopefully no one's going to check out if you just do them a little rope tie, but if they want to experience a deep humiliation scene and you take them there and then all of a sudden something gets triggered, you're kind of playing with fire, so make sure you know what you're doing. And you're expecting things to show up, so you're not surprised by it.
So far out.